Hi, my name's Paul Cresswell. Welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. The purpose of this YouTube channel is to give you some real reviews of tackle that's been out on the bank and tried and tested by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. As I say with all of my videos, just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But I'll give you all the information so you can make up your own mind. Today we're here looking at Keepnets with my new Lockdown 3 haircut. I'm hoping I've only got to have a couple more before we go back to the hairdresser, so no zooming in today please. So we're looking at Keepnets today, and I've got half a dozen Keepnets, but I'm not the kind of guy who fishes these 200+ pound matches. That's not what I want to be doing. Generally speaking, most of the time I'm going to have 3 Keepnets out, and that's going to do for the kind of matches that I fish. So the key features of good Keepnets are really good strong rings, whether that's alloy, metal or some kind of strong plastic. We all had those old ones in the old days, the round ones where they used to go out of shape. You need something that keeps its shape. You want a good strong locking mechanism at the top for whatever you're going to attach that to, so the net doesn't collapse. You need ring protectors or strong protection around the rings, so because that's the area where you're going to get wear from dragging it around on the bottom, on the bankside weighing in, etc. And personally speaking, I like pull-through rings just to help you when you're when you're weighing in at the end of the day. So I'm going to put a short video at the end of this piece that's going to show you my box, my setup with all 3 attached to my Matrix Keepnet extending Keepnet bar. So let's look at the 3 nets, and the first one is a smallish net, and this is from Keepnets Direct. I'll put their website up for you, and as usual I'll put plenty of photos there showing you the details. This is a 2.5 meter net, and it's small because the top ring is only 45 by 30. So the other 2 I'm going to look at are 50 by 40, which is a fairly standard size. And I use this if I'm fishing a match where there's carp and silvers and you need a separate net for silvers. It's a nice small net, plenty of room, nice soft material. It's got metal rings all the way through. It has a really good pull-through mechanism with the hoops. So I don't know if you can see there, but there's some hoops. So when you're coming to weighing in, you pull that right through your top, and then you can tip the fish out like that. You don't need these rings because you can just pull the rings through on a normal net, but I quite like those rings. It's got a brilliant mechanism at the top there, so if I loosen that, and this is one of the connectors that goes onto my Matrix bar, I can then move that into position, tighten it up exactly where I want it, and that is not moving. That is really solid. It's a really good mechanism at the top. The second net I'm going to look at is a Drennan 3 meter carp net, and this is a real heavyweight feel to it. It's a 3 meter version, and it's got a very tight mesh within there. As I said before, it's 40 by 50 on the top ring, and these rings are, I think they're kind of a very strong plastic. I don't think they're going to go out of shape, and there's really strong stitching around there. So whilst there isn't any protectors on there, I think given the mesh and the level of stitching, that this is a really heavy duty, and I don't worry about that getting damaged as well. I didn't know this when I bought it, and I don't know whether I would have got it, but it doesn't have the pull-through hoops. But as we've got plastic kind of we've got plastic rings down to there, and then we've got some metal rings. You can always pull the ring through and tip the fish out. Like I say, that is a real strong heavyweight net that's going to give years of good service. It's got a really good locking mechanism. You kind of undo that, and then you can pick your angle that you want, tighten that up, and again, that is rock solid. It isn't going to go anywhere while you're using it. There is a little dip, so you could use a rod in there, and you could use that for putting your rod, and I'd be quite happy. That would be nice and sturdy. So the final one that I regularly use is a Preston Innovations quick dry net. 2.5 meters, again 50-40 with a little dip for the rod there, and it's a bigger mesh, and I don't know if that's part of the quick dry mechanism. I haven't thought to myself, wow, that dries quick, but it does dry quicker than the Drennan, which is a heavier, finer material. I just put the nets out when I come back, and then they dry, no problems. It does have these excellent plastic corner protectors on each ring on the side that will be on the lake bed. So that's the net. So there's no protectors on the other side, but the protectors are there. So if you drag it across the lake bed or catch it on the platform when you're taking it out, that will offer some really good protection. These are good, strong, non-bendy plastic rings again. And what I will say is the bottom ring, obviously that spends more time on the bottom of the bed, and that's got the 4 plastic protectors. I'll put plenty of photos on the bottom ring as well. I think the one weakness of this net, and I think this is a really excellent net, is this fix mechanism. So you put your connector piece on there, and then you push the silver button at the top to find the angle you want. What I will say is when it's locked in position, there's a bit of play. So your net tends to just kind of drop down a little bit. And I don't think I'd want to put a rod on there. And I'm assuming that all the Preston ones are like this. If you've got a Preston net and yours is rock solid, then maybe I've got a problem with this one. But I've had this from the start, and I don't worry about it particularly, but there's just that little bit of play in the locking mechanism there. So I've gone through the 3 nets that I mainly use, and I've got other nets if things go amazing, but I don't think any of these are perfect. I think the nearest to perfect is the Preston's, and if that had one of the other 2 locking mechanisms, I think that is the perfect net. Like I say, quick dry, good size, strong protectors, really good rigid shape. So I'm now going to show you the short video taking you around with this connected to my box. I put the bar on my box probably a little bit higher than I normally have it, just for demo purposes, because we're obviously not going into water, so the nets sit up a little bit. Hopefully that'll give you some information and show you how it works. Okay, welcome back. I hope you found that interesting. If you do want me to do a separate review of the matrix extending bar, then maybe put a comment below, because that's a possible video for the future. That brings today to a close. I'm going to put there a list of my most watched videos. I've got too many videos to list now. They're all available on my YouTube channel. Thousands of views. I think we're very nearly at 20,000 views across all of my videos now. If you want to give me a thumbs up, that's great. It helps spur me on, gives me a bit of feedback that you're out there. And the next two videos are going to be what's inside my winder tray, and I did what's inside my box last week, and that was really popular video, lots of views very quickly. I think you'll find the winder tray equally interesting, and I'm going to show you, for all of you people out there that are really confused, I'm going to show you two patterns of flow that I think you can use brilliantly for 90% of your commercial fishing, and I'll show you those two patterns and explain how I use them for all those people who are really struggling with the vast array that's out there. And then the video after that, I'm looking at doing my Browning Zeiton margin pole, 9.5 meters. I've had this 3 years. It's been a tremendous piece of kit, but I'll get it out and show some videos, and I'll compare it to a normal pole, and I've also got some fighter sections for my Maver pole, so I'll do a comparison of those and put that up for you, hopefully within the next week or so. Thanks very much for watching. Tight lines.